Good afternoon. What a great day. Look at that blue sky over my head. Look at the sun shining off my dome. How much better can a day get than today? It's like San Diego weather in central Indiana today. I hope your day is a great one, and I hope you're able to live life to the fullest. I grew up watching all kinds of TV as a kid, and one of the shows was the A-Team. And then the A-Team, they introduced you to a former bouncer turned actor named Mr. T. He wore all these gold chains and had a funky hairdo in the time. I don't think it'd be really funky anymore today, but Mr. T was a large man and kind of the enforcer on that show of all that is right, all that is good. And when something was getting ready to go wrong and there was a human causing that problem, he would always say, "I pity the fool." And in other words, he was going to get to the person that caused the problem and be their worst problem. And if you go to the book of Galatians and you start reading chapter 3, and Paul says, "You foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you?" In other words, he's saying, you guys have lost your everlasting minds, you Galatian people. Can you imagine if you're reading the Bible and somebody told you, "Hey Keith, you've lost your mind"? Wouldn't you stop and think about what is it exactly that he's saying I've lost my mind about? And what he goes on to say is he says, did you think that this life in Christ is going to be completed differently than it began? Are you going to complete this life in Christ by something other than faith in the Messiah, or are you going to complete it by something called works? And the works, he describes it as the works of the law versus the works of the Spirit. In other words, are you going to spend your time trying to keep rules and regulations, somehow thinking that is going to make you more acceptable and more fulfilled to God, versus the fulfillment and the completion of the expectation of the Spirit being put in you? That's what Paul says. And when I read that, I read it as an angry person to people that he's previously told that you do not keep rules, you don't keep laws, you don't keep the 10 Commandments. You need to trust that small, still voice inside of you called the Spirit of God and learn to respond to His Spirit. And in doing that, it brings hope and it brings joy to your lives. I wear this shirt. It's the Washington Generals. They are the ones that have always got beat, generally always got beat by the Harlem Globetrotters. They basically lose all the time. And yet, if you think you live this life by winning, you've kind of put the idea of the law back into your head. And really how you win in this life is just trusting the Spirit. The Spirit can direct you even in the midst of what seems to be a loss and bring you to victory in a different scorecard than performance-based scorecards. So today, as you go about your day, I hope you can live fulfilled and not be pitied because of the foolish desire to chase after the rules and regulations. Trust that Spirit in you and see what happens. Have a great one. I'll see you.